Hello, welcome to my channel, The Ascension Guide. I'm your guide, Joe Martin. So for today's video, I got a message from Ariah the other day. I was talking to someone about church and religion and kind of having a conversation about that. And I've always had my own kind of feelings about church and religion that have kind of wavered back and forth over the years. But the message that came through, which I thought was very interesting that I wanted to share, was... are you going to church to give yourself an excuse to be who you are, or are you going to church to become a better version of yourself? And I thought that was kind of cool, especially when you think about it, because I think with the whole sin and forgiveness and I don't know a ton about religion, but I know that there's the confession and that sort of thing in the Catholic religion. I think they tell you to say Hail Marys or something whenever you do something bad, and that's all things are cool then. And it's so if you're just using church as an excuse to get rid of your daily sin, then you can just do whatever you want and then go in and say 10 Hail Marys and everything's cool. Then I think that's definitely the wrong reason to be a part of church or religion or whatever it is. But you going there to gain that sense of community with like-minded individuals who are on the same quest to become more spiritually enlightened, I think that's definitely an admirable quest. And like I said, my own opinion has changed several times over my own history, and I used to be very against religion and church and those sort of things, and then I started to come around and I see the importance. I see the not just the negative side that's been used for control, and the other side, but there's a good side too, and there's good people who are trying to do good and doing the best that they can, and I think it's important for all aspects. And I think there's also the aspect of there's probably a lot of maniacs that would be out there doing a lot of crazy things if they didn't have that control from religion, and that fear of the afterlife. So it probably does serve its purpose in that regard as well. But I think the most important part is, we're all here trying to figure this thing out. And I think instead of clinging to one religion, we should try to find the truth in all religions. From what I've channeled, about the Bible before, I've said if it resonates in love, it's real. If it resonates in fear, it's, put in there by man. So we have to understand that the, Bible has gone through different translations from ancient languages. It's gone through omissions and redactions and additions and all these different things, depending on who was in charge of that manuscript at the time, and however they wanted to translate it to get the message out that they wanted. And we know that there's pieces that are missing. There's the Vatican archives that have all kinds of information that have been deleted from Bibles and that sort of thing. And they wanted to take away your divinity. They wanted to make sure that you had to go through the church in order to reach that state of enlightenment or whatever it is, or however you get there. And if you knew that you didn't need that and you could do it on your own, then it leaves no room for them, and you don't have to pay your tithings and so on and so forth. So if we understand that we're using it as a facility to gather and to gain a better understanding of who we are and what we are, and become closer with God and whatever that means, and to you, personally, then I think that's a great idea and a great thing that we should have. And but I think it's go back to that quote, and you're going to give yourself an excuse to be who you are, or to become a better version of yourself. So just make sure we're using it for the right reasons. And I think it's always it can be, there's always the duality of everything. There's the good and the bad. And I think the more we understand and the better awareness that we have of, some of the tactics that have been employed as far as the manipulation and the control aspects of religion, if we are aware of those things, but we understand that, and we look to read between the lines and understand the message that's being presented through, that is the truth, that is trying to reach us. And I think that's important. And, understanding that these codes would help unlock these things. But I think from reading these different books as I've gone back and forth, that we can start to understand the, similarities of where the stories are going. And maybe they don't say exactly the same thing, but the words are a little different. And if you go, I'm talking, like the Book of Enoch and a lot of different ancient texts that have been kind of deleted. but they talk about things a little bit differently. And but you start to see the similarities, and maybe we can figure out the code in between that and figure out what they're really trying to say in a lot of these texts. So, be an interesting thing to dive into a little bit further. But anyway, just wanted to share that message with you guys today. Hope you're all having a great day. If you guys like this video, I'd appreciate it. Give a little thumbs up and share it with your friends or whoever and get the message out. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe. All right, thanks everybody. Till the next video. Love and light.